She requires no introduction. You guys all know who she is. We're going to be watching Blaire White. And her newest video, it's a day old. And before we actually watch the video, let's take a look at the thumbnail, because it's very interesting. Blaire White's been known to do this before as well. Let's just copy image. Let's just take a look at the thumbnail here. She's done this before too. So this is, I guess, a trans person. Probably like a trans woman. I don't know what this person's pronouns are, but take a look. You can see Blaire White photoshopped a beard on this person for the thumbnail, which is something she is not. Yeah, it's photoshopped. So this is something Blaire White does a lot. Blaire White's an insufferable bitch and a transphobe. Fuck her. I think that goes without saying. But Blaire White has been known to portray trans people like this before. As a matter of fact, there was a video she did on, here it is. So back in August, she did a video about a trans woman pedophile, and this was the original thumbnail of her video. Mind you, this is not a trans woman here. This is a drag queen. This dude identifies as a dude. Just likes to dress up like this and does drag. He's cool. However, this is not even the person that was talked about in the video. Wasn't at all. Blaire literally just photoshopped, had this person in the thumbnail because she knew that this is an effective way to catch the eye of transphobes. Because what do transphobes imagine when they imagine a trans woman? Probably a man in a wig with a beard is what they imagine. And Blaire White feeds into that. She knows that, and she feeds into it. So this isn't the first time Blaire White has depicted trans people this way. So you know what? Let's get into watching her video. It's called Responding to Blaire White is Transphobic, LOL. It's basically her responding to tweets that she's gotten on Twitter calling her transphobic. So, oh my god, she uploads in 4K? Why would she upload in 4K? How is 1080... you know what? I'm not going to complain. Most reactionary videos that I watch are uploaded in 720p. So, I'm not going to complain. At least she's putting some effort into it, right? Oh god, boys. This is going to be a pretty bad video. But I'm excited to see what her defenses are to try to claim she's not transphobic. Alright, let's full screen it. Let's watch this video. See what Blaire White has to say. Let's see Blaire White's defense for the claim she's transphobic.
Oh hey, welcome back to my channel. So do you ever feel like, while you support trans people and you want everyone to have equal rights, obviously, that some of your opinions you would just never say out loud because you may get labeled transphobic? Well done.
Okay. Already pretty stupid. I mean, yeah, if you have some transphobic beliefs and you say them out loud, you're gonna get called transphobic. Don't know what to tell you. Also, seeing up Blaire White's nostrils is not what I thought. I didn't,
because you may get labeled transphobic.
I didn't want to see up. I didn't want to have to see up Blaire White's nostrils today, but I have, and my day is ruined.
Well, don't worry. Apparently, I'm a transphobe too, and I'm a trans woman.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Your identity, who you are, has no impact. Well, it has some, but it does not prevent you from having a certain political ideology. That's right. You can be trans and transphobic. You can be black and a white supremacist. Also, yes, the Chick-fil-A. Don't know if the Chick-fil-A is a dog whistle. It probably is. It's Blaire White. She's a piece of shit. She's a homophobe. And she's a transphobe. But, hey, man, the gays are seething, guys. She's doing it.
So today, we are responding
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, that was definitely a dog. Look how long she does the little...
Apparently, I'm a transphobe, too. And I'm a trans woman. So today, we are responding to a bunch of people who seem to think that because I don't believe every single minute detail of their belief about trans people and about gender, that that makes me transphobic, despite being trans myself. But first, oh my god, really good news. Okay, so you guys know I'm doing that speaking engagement in Chico, California on Thursday.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off, you stupid fucking...
Then we're going to take pictures, we're going to hang out, we're going to do...
Fuck off. Hold on, we're turning up the speed until she's done shilling. Shut the fuck up.
We're going to do everything. Just come through. So, it's not so much on YouTube, but if you guys follow me on any other social media platforms, which... you should. Then you would know that my comment sections and my replies are full of people calling me transphobic.
Okay.
Now, half of these people
are we getting to the actual content now? Nice. All right. Let's see.
Full of people calling me transphobic. Now, half of these people are not aware that I'm trans when they comment it, and then when I reply to them saying that I'm trans, they instantly block me and run away. But a lot of them...
no. I'm pretty sure they know you're trans. You say you're trans in all your videos. You are very openly trans. They know. However, like I said, if someone accuses you of being transphobic because of the things you say or do, and your response is, well, guess what, you dumb fucker? I'm trans. Oh, you stupid bitch. I'm trans. I can't possibly be transphobic. No. You can be. And we're going to prove it here today. As a matter of fact, this stream, this is the transphobia stream. Alright? The transphobia destruction stream. We already covered Long Beach Griffey's transphobia. We're covering Blaire White's transphobia. Then we're covering Lily Orchard's transphobia, I assume. She made a video on ContraPoints. I don't know who Lily Orchard is, but apparently she's very stupid. And then finally, we'll be debating Tranime Girl. So today is the big transphobia destruction stream. Though transphobia will not exist anymore after today's stream. I promise you. We're destroying it today. We're killing it.
You know, and think that just because I believe that 7-year-olds should not be going to doctor's appointments about how to stop their puberty, that biologically male athletes should not be able to steal a championship.
Do I need to cover these points? I probably do, don't I? It would probably be most responsible for me to... Okay, so her saying she doesn't believe that 7-year-old children should be going to the doctor to learn how to stop their puberty. Okay, so let me explain the process here. If you have a child who is prepubescent, meaning they have not gone through puberty yet, they were pre-puberty, and they believe they may be trans, they may, and that let's say you have a 7-year-old male son or whatever, and they come to you and they start telling you that I feel like I'm a girl, and you're like, holy shit, I think my kid might be a trans girl. So what you would do is take that child to the doctor, to a medical professional, a licensed medical professional. And this child would be talked to and would go to receive therapy, and a medical professional would determine whether or not they believe that this child is genuinely trans, I guess, genuinely trans. And what the doctor would do would be prescribing hormone blockers. Now, what hormone blockers do is block the onset of puberty. So if they were born male, it blocks the onset of a male puberty. If they're born female, blocks the onset of a female puberty. That's all it does. It's not hormones. It doesn't start making you go through the opposite sex's puberty. It just blocks it. Now, there has been no data to suggest that this is harmful. Because under the circumstance where that child gets older and decides, you know what, maybe I'm not trans, maybe it was a mistake, as soon as they're off of the puberty blockers, in every single observed, all the data points to this, they immediately begin their birth sex's puberty. Immediately. And they even out in the long run. There's no data to suggest that this isn't what happens. There is no harm whatsoever that is caused by a 7-year-old being put on puberty blockers. On the opposite side, though, the worst case scenario is you have a 7-year-old child who is going to be trans, who is going to, after having been, once they get a little older, realize that, yes, I'm 100% trans, and because they were not allowed on puberty blockers, they've already gone through the puberty of the opposite, of the sex that they do not identify with. and it's going to be a lot harder to transition. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to transition if you were put on puberty blockers when you were young and then started taking hormones. It's a lot easier. This is not disputed. So the argument that Blaire White here is making is essentially the think of the children argument. You know, because the people she's kowtowing to, the reactionaries, the transphobes, they don't understand any of this. They don't know it to begin with. So Blaire White is enforcing their preconceived notion that when you know that there's a ton of parents who are taking their 6-year-old children to the doctor and putting them on hormones and getting their, or as they would say, getting their balls and dick chopped off and shit like that. That is what transphobes and normies to this shit think of when Blaire White talks about this, or just think of in general when it comes to children transitioning. They don't understand how this process is done. They simply don't. It's not how it's done. It's, you know, a licensed medical professional puts the kid on puberty blockers until it is deemed acceptable to put them on hormones. And if they decide they don't want to go on hormones, they can stop using the puberty blockers, and their natural puberty will catch up almost as quickly as it would have if they weren't on puberty blockers in the first place. Simple as that. Let's see what else she has to say.
Their puberty, that biologically male athletes should not be able to steal championships and titles from biologically female athletes. But
this has never happened. Why are there not, if this is the case, why are there not trans women athletes absolutely destroying cis women all the time in sports? Why isn't it happening? Well, the scientific explanation is, well, guess what? In the case of trans women, hormones physically alter your body a lot. Your muscle mass goes down. Your bone density goes down. How many of you guys remember what ContraPoints looked like before she transitioned? Just type 1 in chat if you remember. Because there's a video of her from before she transitioned, shirtless, rubbing oil on her pecs. She was a fucking muscular motherfucker, okay? And now when you look at her, she looks frail, as most women do, you know? She could absolutely not beat a cis woman in most sports in her current state, okay? So, once again, another bullshit argument from Blaire. I like how this is a video where she defends herself from claims that she's transphobic, and then is transphobic, while also spreading wrong, like just falsehoods in the intro to her video.
But it's not transphobic if you don't want to date me, although it does mean you have bad taste. You know, all that means that I must just hate trans people. So here's an article by someone named Rachel Ann Williams. The title is...
Hold on. That's a bit of a straw man. You don't have to hate trans people to be transphobic. And this is something I see a lot from the centrist chuds. I see it a lot. That, oh, I'm not transphobic. I don't hate trans people. It's not what transphobia is. It can be. If you hate trans people, you are transphobic. However, transphobia can also be simply not thinking they're valid. If you believe that trans women aren't women, for example, you're transphobic. Even if you don't hate them, you're still transphobic. Also, yeah, I wouldn't date Blaire White either. She is a piece of shit.
Is trans people can be transphobic too. And can we address the picture of me that they used? I don't even know what this picture is from. Actually, I think I do. This is like a random event I did like at the beginning of the year. You know how far this person had to scour the internet to find this random obscure picture from an event that only had like 100 people there? And like what?
Can we acknowledge the actual topic of this of the article? Because it's true. Trans people can be transphobic too is a correct statement. And I'm very excited to see when Blaire White's going to stop stalling for time and padding to hit that 10-minute mark. Look at that. Look at that right there. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. She really padded for time to get that extra mid-roll ad revenue. Don't think I didn't notice, Blaire.
And honestly, what's really funny is I didn't really have to go far to find a horrible picture of this person. I went straight to their profile picture.
Oh my god.
Why'd you Photoshop the beard on her, Blaire? Or them? Why'd you Photoshop the beard on them, Blaire? Why'd you do it? How stupid is Blaire White that she makes a video defending against claims that she's transphobic, and in the fucking thumbnail, she photoshops a beard. She photoshops a beard on the author of the article. That's a big brain move right there, Blaire. Holy shit.
Tragic. It starts off by saying, "This might sound petty, but I recently retweeted infamous trans YouTuber Blaire White, and I called her a fascist transphobe.
She is both those things."
She replied to me, and her 200,000 followers descended upon me quickly. Yeah, this is someone who decided they wanted to tweet me some ridiculousness. And I like how they always play the victim when I respond. Like, people think they can really say whatever they want to me because it's the internet, and that if I reply, suddenly I'm the one bullying them because I have more followers than them. Where's the logic? Make it make sense.
She never said that you... Wait, she never said that you were harassing her. She just said, I tweeted at her, and then all her followers came. She wasn't complaining about it. I guarantee if she continues to read right below it, she's going to say, and these were the responses I got from her followers. Let's just watch.
So this person just babbled in the entire article. Really nothing of it really made sense. Like, they criticized me for being a trans medicalist, which is me believing that being trans is a medical issue, because that's exactly what it is.
Okay. She's not going to read the article. Am I going to have to read the article right now on stream? How much you want to bet she didn't link it in the description? Nope. Nothing but shilling her shit. Just a quick description saying apparently trans people can be transphobic if they disagree with you. Her event, her hoodies, become a member, Twitter and Instagram, Snapchat, second channel, previous video. No fucking link. Okay, let's look it up. So this is something that you should always do when a reactionary makes a claim and cites a source. Always look at what they're citing, because they will always lie. They will clip things out of context, they will ignore certain things, and they will lie. They will always lie. All reactionaries lie. They're all liars. Every last one of them. So, let's see if we can find the video here. Gotta appreciate how Chud-free chat is. You guys should come to the website. I don't know why you guys are in YouTube chat. Fuck, where is the article? Hey, chat, do any of you guys have a link to the article? If you want to send it, I'll look at it, but first I'm gonna continue with the video. One of you guys can find it and post it in chat. Try searching Blaire's name too. Just one of you guys find it and link it to me, and, yeah.
And just really mad that I don't think non-binary people are the same thing as trans. Too bad, too sad.
Yeah, that's transphobia. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It is definitionally transphobia. You guys all know this, okay? You guys all know this. But being transgender, it means you have a gender identity expression or gender expression that differs from the sex assigned at birth. That's all it is. That is the definition of being trans. If you are non-binary, you are trans. If you want to make the incorrect statement that non-binary people are not valid as trans people, you're a transphobe. I know your brain is very small, Blaire. I don't know if the Valley Girl lifestyle that you live has like made your brain shrink. You know, God, she's basically just joined Lauren Southern And fuck, what? Oh god, there's all these fucking Valley Girl people. Tommy Lauren. I don't know if all this like Valley Girl lifestyle that you have has like polluted your brain and like muddled your ability to think or something. But this is pretty basic understanding of definitions and words. You're one Google search away from kind of putting this together yourself. Although you are a piece of shit and a liar, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're lying on purpose. Oh, and Nino went ahead and dropped the link. There we go. Let's take a look at the link to this article. Trans people can be transphobic too. This might sound petty, but I recently tweeted infamous trans YouTuber Blaire White and called her a fascist transphobe. She replied to me, and her 200k followers descended upon me quickly. The most popular type of comment was, "Look at that, wasn't even complaining, just saying this. How could she be transphobic if she's trans? Indeed. How can a trans person be transphobic? Is that even possible? Yes, it is. You see, Blaire does not believe that non-binary people are valid. There is nothing here that was complaining. This is a perfect example of reactionaries lying. All Blaire did was clip the first fucking 2 sentences of the article and then frame it like this person was complaining about it. That's what we just had here. That's what that was. All this person did, I don't know if this person's non-binary, Rachel Ann Williams, I don't know if this person's non-binary, I'm just going to say they, I don't know. Who cares? So all they did was, this was their hook, this is the hook to their article, then leading that in to the thesis of this article. Like, listen, if you guys know a lot about writing, then you should know about this. You start with a hook, then you lead into your thesis, then you have your body paragraphs that back up your thesis, and then you finish it off with a conclusion. If you took high school English, you understand this. I mean, we can read the rest. She basically says non-binary people aren't scientifically valid, and they're not real in the way binary trans people with gender dysphoria are real. She calls them genders of the weak and says there's nothing to measure with them. How do you think binary genders are measured? Blaire espouses a nasty belief system called transmedicalism, which is the view that being trans is a medical condition that can only people with clinically... Okay, we all know this shit. It's a good article. I'll go ahead and leave it in chat so you guys can read it yourselves. But I just wanted to bring it up so we could actually look at where Blaire clipped it out of context to... support her narrative. Love it. We're only 3 minutes in, and Blaire has already lied so many times that I can't even count it.
Whatever. Blaire White literally thinks non-binary people don't exist. She's a transphobe. Okay. Like, honey.
God, she's so obnoxious. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I would actually rather go gay than date a girl who acts like Blaire White does. I can't stand her personality. I would rather fuck a dude. I would find a dude and I would fuck a dude, even though I'm fucking heterosexual, than fucking have to date for one day someone that's like Blaire White. I fucking can't stand her. Oh God. Just watch this. Just watch this.
Exist. She's a transphobe.
This face... right here. It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? This is not okay. Stop it.
Okay. Like, honey, I'm very aware you guys exist. You're very loud. You make yourself known. No one's saying you don't exist. I'm just saying you're not the same thing as being trans, and that's okay. And that's...
It's not okay to say that. It's very wrong. It's not just discriminatory and transphobic. It's factually incorrect.
It's not bad. Why do people only get upset when I say being trans is different than non-binary, but yet people can make all these other distinctions like pansexual is not the same thing as bisexual, and this sexual is slightly different than this sexuality, and this label is slightly different. Why does everyone get a different label, but I have to be labeled with this?
Okay. When someone says that Blaire White says trans people don't exist, no one is saying that Blaire claims that these people don't exist. We know she knows these people exist. She makes videos about them roughly every week and stretches the timed about 10 minutes so she can get all that juicy ad revenue. God, if Blaire White uploaded like 3 times a week, she'd be a millionaire if she isn't already. That's not what anyone's claiming. Now, in regards to the whole they're different, yes, being non-binary and being binary trans and like transitioning, which you generally, I imagine most binary, like non-binary trans people probably don't end up physically transitioning all that much. Some do, I imagine. I don't know. Not an expert. However, no one's claiming that they aren't different. You are claiming they aren't trans. Not that they're... You say right now, all I'm saying is they're different. No. You're literally saying they do not belong under the umbrella of trans. And that is transphobic.
Make it make sense. Blaire White, your hair extensions are crusty, and your internalized transphobia isn't cute. I wish you would stop being recommended on my YouTube, you true scum piece of...
Yeah. Hey, not wrong.
There's a lot to unpack here, the first being that my hair extensions probably cost more than your rent. Just being real.
Blaire White gets the bullet when the leftist revolution happens. In Minecraft, of course. She got... I think we all agree.
And the second thing is this internalized transphobia nonsense. I get this all the time too. This is that I secretly hate myself and that I have this internalized hatred for myself being trans, yada, yada, yada.
No. No, I don't think that at all, Blaire. I don't think you have any self-hate. Blaire, if you're watching this, you're a narcissistic piece of shit. You're a selfish bitch. You don't care about anyone but yourself. Especially not other trans people. That's why you're willing to make this propaganda and shit on other trans people for a living. You made a career out of it. You are probably making at least upper 6 figures, you know, maybe 500 grand a year, I would estimate, judging by how popular you are. I mean, your net worth is pretty fucking high. You're a piece of shit. You do probably have some internalized transphobia. Probably. I would wager on it. But I don't think you hate yourself. I think you love yourself and don't give a fuck about anyone else. Because you're a vapid, selfish bitch. You're just another bougie, upper-class fucker shitting on minorities and shitting on the working class, too. I mean, we just saw her, my hair extensions are probably more expensive than your rent joke, you know? Fuck you, Blaire. Had to get real there for a second, boys.
And this one's always particularly hilarious to me because I feel like, you know, I would have maybe not said this when I was a lot younger, maybe when I was a teenager and dealing with gender dysphoria and the
boys, girls, NBs. It's, listen, love you all.
struggle of being trans, but like where I'm at now at 26, and I feel like maybe people aren't used to hearing this and the narrative is so different and it's always about how being trans is so hard and I hate it so much and blah, blah, blah. I actually like that I'm trans. Don't get me wrong, there are cons and downsides as there are to any walk of life. However, you just come to a certain point in your life where you actually appreciate what makes you different and what makes you unique. And I feel like there's so many experiences in my life and things I've gotten to do and this channel in many ways and who I've gotten to meet and everything that wouldn't have happened if I was not trans. And I cannot imagine my life any other way. So I actually really love being trans. And if I hated it so much, I don't think I'd have a channel talking about trans issues all the time. And as far as me being recommended on...
Yeah, I have no response to that. I don't agree with the idea that she hates herself. I think she's extremely narcissistic, and that contributes a lot to her shit. And yeah, let's see what she has to say about getting recommended on YouTube.
Your YouTube a lot. I mean, hi, Now you're in my video.
Okay. Is she about to shill her hoodie?
Was that a moment for you? Was it? Was it? This hoodie and more now available in my merch store. Link below. Blaire White is so full of her internalized transphobia, again, makes me sick. What shocks me is that even the LGBTQ plus community supports her. And this is an excellent...
Not really. Broadly, not really. Well, what do you think, guys? Do you think the LGBTQ plus community generally supports Blaire? I don't think so. I know, not most of it, but I know some pretty big figures do. I mean, she did a fucking collab with fucking Shane Dawson. It's on her. It was a year ago, but it's pinned on her channel. She did a collab with one of the like most well-known YouTubers on this platform. I'm pretty sure he's gay. Is Shane Dawson gay? I'm pretty sure he's gay. Bi? Okay. Nice. So, LGBTQ. He's bi? Okay. Listen, I don't watch Shane Dawson, guys. Listen, I'm 20. I don't watch Shane Dawson, okay?
Excellent point that this person brought up. 90% of the people who accuse me of being transphobic are not trans. So honestly, yeah, a lot of LGBT people may not support me, but a lot do. I think more than people realize.
Okay, is she actually... I'm starting to get a twinge of it. Is she actually about to start to claim that if you're cis and you accuse her of being transphobic, the fact that she's trans and you're accusing her of being transphobic and you're cis makes you transphobic, or makes your argument invalid? If she says that, I will fucking smash my head in on stream with a fucking rock.
She's so privileged and then invalidates trans people who can't afford the surgery she's had by saying they're not the same as her. They are literally the same. They just aren't rich and privileged.
True!
I'm literally going to have an aneurysm. Invalidates trans people who can't afford the surgery they've had. When? When have I done that?
I mean, you mock them constantly. Anyone remember that video that Blaire made where she went into like male restrooms to like, and it was like a prank video? You guys remember that? What about the people that she platforms? Hasn't she has she ever done a collab with Steven Crowder? I'm not sure if she has. Has she ever done a collab with Steven Crowder? I wouldn't be surprised if she has. Can't recall. I feel like she would have. I mean, she basically like copied Crowder and did the thing where Crowder basically puts on a wig and he pretends to be a trans woman, but it's just him with a wig on, and goes into like women's bathrooms, and he does like skits like that, or goes to the doctor and claims to be pregnant. Like, you know, just like the piece of shit comedian that he is. She basically gatekeeps being trans and puts down anybody who doesn't pass. I mean, she does it all the time. I mean, she did it here in this thumbnail where she had to Photoshop, like she Photoshopped a beard on this person for a reason. She used a fake or the wrong picture, or picture of the wrong person in that one thumbnail about trans predators as well. Like, she shits on, like, she creates an image of trans people that is very inaccurate, and specifically creates a caricature of like, trans women, if they aren't like me and they don't look like me, then they're just men with beards and dresses and wigs. She does this all the time.
Make it make sense. Oh, and privileged. Where? I mean, I know people don't really know a lot about my upbringing, but let me just say, I didn't grow up like dirt poor, but I did not grow up with money, honey. Literally every single thing I own, and my transition, surgically and everything, was paid and funded for completely by me and the work that I do.
The fact that you were able to pay for it and had access and the ability to do that work is your privilege, Blaire. You're white and you're wealthy. And you have a supportive fan base. That's what they're talking about when they say privilege. The fact that you earned it does not make it not privilege. Well, and you objectively do have privilege. I mean, you may not have had money, honey, as you say here, but you admit you weren't poor. I mean, you're white. Your last name is even white. And you've grown up to be a very successful figure with a lot of money and a lot of funds to be able to, transition with. Most people don't have that. And you basically stand on this elevated plane of privilege and spit on everybody who is, not as fortunate as you.
I left the house at 18, have supported myself ever since then. My parents never gave me anything in my adulthood. My dad died when I was 19. I did not have a sugar daddy buying me breast implants like half the trans girls out here in LA. I did not have family helping me with surgeries in my transition. Hell, I didn't even have insurance. I paid for everything out of pocket based on the work that I do. Okay. Can I rant? Can
I'm ready, Blaire. Just send it my way.
we really get into it right now? Because I feel my blood pressure rising a little bit. I feel things just kind of, heating up, and I want to go off. Okay, let's go. I think it's needless to say that it is completely and utterly idiotic to call a trans woman transphobic.
What a fucking liar, dude. What a Weasley little fucking liar, dude. Literally lying. Sorry, I had to squeeze a Hassan meme in here at some point. The funny thing? Isn't it always the chuds like Blaire saying they don't like identity politics? Because she's doing identity politics right here. Saying, I can't be transphobic. I'm trans. That's identity politics. Aren't you guys the ones that don't like identity politics? Aren't it the leftist SJW non-binary hate mob? Aren't they the ones that are obsessed with the identity politics, Blaire? All right, let's see her go full idpol here.
Keep in mind, these are the same people who believe that black people and people of color cannot be racist, that it's actually impossible for them to be. This is what they believe about that. So how...
No, they don't. That was just made up. Nobody thinks that. Can I get a source? I mean, the go-to racist black guy is Jesse Lee Peterson, who literally believes that black people are inherently immoral and they've lost their way, and that white people are inherently godly and moral, and that white people that black people need to follow white people in order to leave their fallen state of inherent immorality. Like, he's the go-to example of like a white supremacist black guy. Plus, he's a Nazi. He also believes in the JQ and all that. Candace Owens, another good example. We call these figures out all the time. How can you claim that we say that black people can't be racist? What? How can she just so confidently make shit up and just go with it?
How can they believe simultaneously that I can be transphobic despite being trans? Make it make sense. But
oh god, she did the thing. She fucking did it.
Also, I understand that a lot of people maybe don't know how to take me. I feel like a lot of the times on this channel and on my social media, I'm presenting a sort of side to the trans topic that not many people are used to seeing. I don't talk about things in the way that every single other trans influencer in the world talks about. I don't talk about things in the way that every other trans activist you've ever seen talks about them. I am different. First of all, that should be okay to be different and think different things without suddenly being a hateful person. That's number one. But number two, in a lot of ways, the reason I talk about trans issues and LGBT issues in the way that I do, calling out people like Jessica Yaniv and people who...
Yeah, except for Calvin Gara and Buck Angel. Holy shit, are we getting Jessica Yaniv memes in November? It's November.
Make us look terrible, and talking about the other side of young children transitioning, and talking about the trans athlete.
What young children are transitioning, Blaire? Point them to me. Because guess what? Young children on puberty blockers is not transitioning. Point me to the young children transitioning, Blaire. Where are they?
Thing is because I want to better the public image of trans people. Like, I literally am doing what a lot of trans activists do, just in a different way. Honestly, a lot of trans activists and people talking about this issue.
Blaire is not a trans activist. I hate to say it, but she's not. I would say, in general, she probably contributes a net negative to the perception of trans people. Now, in the short term, maybe it's a positive, because maybe, you know, oh, look at this fucking trans woman who's fucking got big old boobers and the fucking big lips and you know, just looks pretty. I mean, like, I not my type, but she's pretty, okay? But then you hear her voice and she's super obnoxious. So I wonder how many transphobes looked at Blaire White and were like, "Holy shit, this chick's trans? Okay, maybe trans women aren't that bad after all." And then heard her talk and were like, "Never mind."
Issue have literally no self-awareness of how they're viewed by the outside world, people who aren't trans, people
She's very vapid, yes.
who don't know trans people, who are maybe on the right, maybe Republicans, maybe conservatives. They have no idea how they are viewed. That a lot of the insanity that comes out of the community is not something that goes over well at all with them. For example, a lot of trans people took issue
They do bust one out regardless, though.
with the fact that I put Jessica and Eve on blast because they felt like I was like putting more of a spotlight on negativity in the trans community, and that I was somehow attacking the trans community by calling Jessica and Eve out. No. What you fail to understand about that whole Jessica and Eve story, I know it's old, we're done talking about specifically that, but this is just more about overall everything, is that a lot of people were taking that story before I even touched it and running with it as an excuse to blanket the trans community in a negative light. And I took issue with that because I felt like I refused to be represented by a pedo. Like,
Okay. So she's lying here, guys. Who here remembers back when this drama was at the top of the charts in the YouTube algorithm? Who here remembers that? It was back in, like, what, August? That was some August drama? Yeah, God, the dewy slopes of August. I remember back then I only had, like, what, 6,007? No, August? Wait, August? No. That was, like, July drama. I had, like, 9,000 subs. It was a while ago, okay? No. What Blaire White did, and has continued to do, is say, guess what? Jessica and Eve isn't trans. That was her rhetoric. You see, Blaire White doesn't just say, yeah, I mean, some trans people are going to be bad people. It's just how it works. I mean, they aren't bad people because they're trans, but, I mean, there's a lot of trans people. There's a lot of bad people. Eventually, those populations are going to intersect somewhere, right? That would be the logical thing to go with. No, what Blaire White does is when a trans person does something bad, she says, yeah, I don't consider you trans. You're not trans. Hey, guys. Hey, audience. Yeah, this person's faking it. Non-binary people that I think make the trans community look bad. Guess what, guys? Hey, they aren't actually trans. I'm trans. Look at me. Look, I got boobs. I got the long hair. I'm pretty. Look, this is what it means to be trans. That video of that non-binary person getting mad about being misgendered. Ha! Yeah, not actually trans. Yeah, see, they aren't even part of our community. That's what she does. Don't let her lie. Don't let her lie like that. You got to call her out. All reactionaries do this.
that's not, what are we doing? I cannot even tell you the thousands of emails, thousands of comments that I got from people who had literally no understanding of trans people before that Jessica and Eve story. And when they saw my video calling it out and they realized that I'm trans calling it out, their perspective was changed 1000%. And suddenly they realized I shouldn't have painted an entire community with that brush. And this girl seems normal. This girl's cool. And that was what happened. Like,
How sad is it that YouTube shills Blaire White so hard and doesn't really shill ContraPoints quite as much? I know Contra has more subs than Blaire now, but still, like, I literally cannot go anywhere without being recommended reactionary content on YouTube. I get Blaire White videos recommended me all the time. When I want to watch a ContraPoints video, I have to look her up. YouTube doesn't recommend her videos to me in my recommended. They don't. Guarantee it. Let's see. Are there any ContraPoints videos recommended right here? None. Oh, nope. That's a Vosh video on ContraPoints. None. Let's see. Load a little bit. There we go. Had to wait for it to load. But we got some ContraPoints if you scroll down a bit. But no one scrolls down that far. But what we do have is Schwanhead, The Right Opinion, H3 Podcast, Calvin Gara, Blaire White. Blaire White's video called Heated Debate with Queer Gender Feminist. Some Destiny, some Vosh. This video by Knowing Better that fucking Chad keeps telling me to watch. YouTube shills this shit pretty hard. It's kind of sad that so many people's first introduction to trans figures is Calvin Gara and Blaire White instead of like ContraPoints. And don't get me wrong, ContraPoints isn't perfect, but we can all agree ContraPoints is a universe better than Blaire White and Calvin Gara. We can all agree to that. Why do people watch it? I don't, but it's still popping up in my recommended, and they will not stop fucking responding or recommending it. The Right Opinion reactionary? I don't think so. Well, I guess that's all I have to say about it. That's the end of the video anyway. But, yeah, Blaire White is a transphobe. And hopefully this video helped, clear that up.